y'all. Welcome back to the Dominoes 7 show. Live location at my crib. Okay. I had fun doing this show. Okay, let me put the camera down a bit. Uh-oh. Alright. It'll clear up, I hope. But anyway, there it is. Sort of like that. Okay. I would like to thank everybody for listening to my radio. I'm going to say watching my show. Okay. Alright, so before I thank anybody, I want to say this. It was a good show I've done. I've always liked Bob Barker. Every time I cut on Price is Right, I had no idea he was on Bonanza. You know what I mean? I barely watch his Bonanza sometimes, you know, and I didn't even know there was Bob on there, you know. So I enjoy watching the Price is Right with Bob Barker and Rod Roddy, and I enjoy watching Ray Combs on Family Feud, you know. So when I was real young, I started seeing Bob Barker with black hair, okay? So I try to get my little cousins to watch The Price is Right. They love the show too. Especially my little cousin Dylan and Derek, okay? And baby D, little Derek, okay? So they like Price is Right. They didn't know who Bob Barker was until they saw Bob Barker, you know what I mean? So I've always wanted to meet Bob Barker, so I may have that chance one day, you know. God bless Bob. God bless you, Bob. I'm so glad to invite you in my home and invite you on my show, okay? I also invited Adam Sandler to my show and also Drew Carey, okay? So, other than that, I loved your show and I love The Price is Right. I also love Plinko, okay? Every pricing game that ever came on The Price is Right, I've always said that's Bob Barker's game, like the Grand Game. That's Bob Barker's pricing game too, okay? And Plinko, Bob Barker's pricing game, okay? Or should I rename it Barker's Pricing Games, you know? So since Bob Barker was the original host of the CBS version, okay? So I never had a chance to watch Truth or Consequences because I wasn't born at the time, you know. I'm 27 years old. I was born in 1984, September. Well, I'm not going to even say my full date of birth, okay? So all I know is I was born in 1984. That's all I need for y'all to know, okay? So by me watching Bob Barker show my whole life, from Price is Right when his hair was black, okay, and seeing him on Family Feud, watched him on Match Game when it was a rerun, you know, because I saw those reruns on GSN, you know. So I watch GSN all the time, Game Show Network, you know. Well, not as much as I used to, you know, because I used to watch GSN a lot, okay. So anyway, I also remember Johnny Olsen being the announcer of The Price is Right. I was 1 year old before Johnny Olsen passed, you know. So I didn't know much about Johnny Olsen, even though I heard his voice, because I used to confuse him for Rod Roddy back then, you know. So a long time ago, I used to always thought Rod Roddy was the original announcer, but Johnny Olsen is also always the original announcer, you know. So Bob Barker, I've always wanted to meet him though. And you know, if I would have had a chance at the time when before Bob retired and play Barker's Markers, I sure would love for him to snatch those $500 out of my hand, you know. That would have been a good thing, you know. So, by the way, by me talking about this, I wonder who gonna comment. Long as it don't be negative, you know. Everybody love Bob. Everybody love The Price is Right. But all I say is it was the host, you know. So, like I said, I've always wanted to be the Price is Right host. You know what I mean? So I wonder if I would have spiced it up a bit. And I sure love that when you say that's too much. That's too much! You gotta say it loud, you know. If I wanna be in a contestant on Price is Right, Drew Carey host, I will say that's too much very loud if I ever play that's too much. You know what I mean? So I also like that game Time is Money. That game been retired. I like buy or sell. You know, I'm so glad Drew Carey had a chance to deal with that game. You know, okay, buy or sell, or the grand game. They still got that. I love Plinko. You know, everybody's #1 favorite. I also like that new pricing game, Pay to Rent. You know, I like Gas Money. Well, anyway, we talking about the Drew Carey era. But anyway, it's about Bob right now, you know. So all my life I watch Bob, you know. So everybody enjoys Bob. I'm practically Bob Barker's #1 fan, but they probably have another #1 fan of Bob Barker, you know. So if you are #1 Bob Barker #1 fan, all you do is comment on this video and tell me. Tell me who you are if you're a #1 Bob Barker fan, you know. So you know, excuse my stuttering, but anyway, I've done the best I can to wish Bob Barker a happy birthday, you know, by showing clips, showing episodes of Price is Right, you know. So anyway, I've done the best I could. I hope I've done a good job with this show, okay? If I've done something wrong, comment on this video. If I've done a good job, comment on this video and all those other episodes, all those other videos I've done, okay? Alright, so anyway, that episode of The Price is Right in season 34 with that balance game debut with that girl Heather, you know, I thought she was Heather Chadwell from Rock of Love, you know. Of course, Heather Chadwell is beautiful too, okay? So, and that's my favorite name for a girl, you know, Heather, okay? To me, that's a beautiful name. It's like a it's like a pretty woman coming from heaven, you know, entering your life, you know. So that's a beautiful name, Heather. Whoever name is Heather, that's a beautiful name, okay? And I'm saying that for anybody named as Heather, okay? Like Heather Crawford, you know. If your name is Heather, all I'm going to say is this. You have a beautiful name, okay? So anyway, Bob Barker, I've always watched him, you know, gray hair and stuff like that. Well, I watched him ever since I was a little boy. Before his hair turned gray, you know, he always used to chat with the models and stuff. I heard, you know, before Rod came around, you know. So anyway, all I can say is, Bob Barker, thank you for many years, you know. I wish you would have stood about 5 more years until season 40. Well, actually, I wish you would have stood until season 45 of The Price is Right, you know. So anyway, thank y'all for watching The Price is Right. Well, I normally say this at the end of my show, but I'm gonna let Bob Barker say it in his honor, okay? So Bob Barker, take it away. All right.
I want to thank you very, very much.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me rewind that a bit. I wanna.
Now, folks, I want to thank you very, very much for inviting me into your home for the last 50 years. I am deeply grateful. And please remember, help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everyone.
All right. So anyway, I normally say that at the end of my episode, but I had to let Bob Barker say it like he's here, okay? So thank y'all for watching the Domino 7 show, all right? Bye-bye, y'all.